Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is a companion page to the last layout with Marcus and Duke. This is just a photo of me and him when we got to ride. This was his first time riding a horse, so it was really exciting, and I wanted a picture of the both of us together on our horses. So I'm following that sketch you saw at the beginning. I did just flip it over to have a mirror image since the photo is facing to the left. I wanted the photo to sit on the right side of the page, so that's why I just decided to invert the photo. I also kind of think it's cool because this sketch, even though it's different, it has a lot of similar aspects to the sketch I used for the companion page. And with these sitting in the album next to each other, they're kind of facing each other, which is kind of cool with all of these similar elements. So even though the sketches are different, it kind of looks like these pages are a little bit of a mirror image, just with the big banner and everything like that. But I'm trying to make sure I'm using a lot of the same papers I used on the companion page, just so they're very cohesive and they look like they're supposed to be together. And so right now I'm just going through the scraps of the papers I have that I know were on the other page and just trying to figure out which layer I want to be which for this layout. So that's all I'm doing right now is just copying the sketch. I forgot to put that video clip in the last process video, but I have little video clips from a couple different things that I scrapbook, and I'm going to try and remember to include them in the process video just because I think that's kind of fun having a video clip of what the page is about. So I'm going to try and remember to do that, but that was just a little snippet of our trail ride, us going through the woods there. But I wanted this large banner to run down the side of the page, so I needed to skew the sketch a little bit just because these are smaller papers. I'm trying to use as much as I can from the smaller paper pad so I don't have to cut into big 12 by 12 sheets. So I needed to kind of figure out a way for these layers to fill the gap that I would have using that leafy smaller paper. So I'm just trying to shift things over. I realized that this horizontal bit was way too like wide, so I'm trying to shift these layers in a little bit so it looks closer to the sketch. I thought it was really cool that it's on this big scenic paper when this scenic paper was used in its smaller form on the companion page, so I really like that mirroring aspect. But because it is a scenic photo, I want a lot of layers here where my paper layers already are, but I'm going to try and keep the rest of the page pretty open so you can see the scenic area. And then again, I'm just using my washi trick to cut out a big chunky scallop because that's in the sketch and I wanted to include that. And then you can see this pink washi here I included on the last page, so I'm going to try and sneak some in on this page as well. I really don't think this page needed the washi, but just because it's a companion page, I was really trying to pull all the elements that I used on the last page on this one as well. So I shifted around the washi a little bit, but I wanted it on the page just so it was kind of balanced between the other page that I did. But I'm just fussy cutting the scallop really quick, and that's going to tuck along the top part of the page. And then I think my photo layers are almost done. I definitely need a title and a little bit of embellishment. I feel like I'm not embellishing a whole lot on these pages so far this month, so hopefully in some upcoming layouts I can really do some clustery goodness. But I feel like in the beginning of How to Kill a Kit with Style, I never have too much layery stuff just because I don't have a lot of scraps, and I'm trying not to use too much of my embellishment at once so that I don't have like enough for the rest of the month. But hopefully I'll get out of that. I hate feeling that restriction because it's something I put on myself and I don't need to do, but I just can't seem to help myself. But here you can see me trying to tuck this washi in here, and I found it really distracting. I did like how it separated these front green layers from that scallopy layer, but it just kind of looked distracting going over that pattern, so I leave it there for a second, and then immediately I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like that. But I do want the washi on the page, so instead I just decided to tuck it over here on the right side of the page along that vertical layer. But I think those are pretty much my paper layers, so I'm going to shift my scraps out and pull the embellishment. I definitely want to use some of this stuff that had left over from last month, and that was one of these charms and one of these puffy stickers, so I'm thinking I might try and go ahead and get these on the page. The companion page does have yellow gold, but I kept trying to put rose gold on that page and felt like I kind of already committed to the yellow gold metallic. So I actually am going to do rose gold on this page even though they're companion pieces, but I really wanted to get some of this embellishment used up that had the rose gold foil. So I figured I would just go with it. But I'm going to fussy cut this globe out of this cut apart piece. I really liked that it had a lot of the same colors I'm already using and was a nice focal point. And we're out in the world in the photo, so I think having the globe is appropriate. So I'm just going to fussy cut that really quick. But the globe just says hello in that nice rose gold foil, so I already know I'm introducing that metallic. So I'm going to try and use that as an excuse to pull it in. I definitely want to get this last puffy sticker and this last charm used up on this page because I do not want those left over at the end of the month. I loved those embellishments the first time I used this this kit, so I was really happy. At least had one left of both of them to use up this time around. Again, I still don't have my dimensional dots. I did order them from Amazon, but I'm sure everyone knows Amazon is kind of still backed up. So I'm still waiting on those to get here so I don't have to do this anymore. But all I'm doing is I'm just layering a bunch of scrap pieces of paper behind this embellishment just to kind of create my own chipboard, I guess, with a bunch of paper layers so that this embellishment is a little thicker and stands off the page a little bit. So that's all I'm doing there is just trying to cut all of these scraps. It's ridiculous, but it works. So I'm just gonna struggle through that for a minute. It's just time consuming more than anything. I don't mind doing it, but watching it, I'm just kind of like, ugh. So I think this is my last layer behind this globe. I just think I did three layers of paper behind that just to give it a little bit of pop. But I like it there on that corner there, and then I kind of have this open spot on this pink layer that's perfect for this puffy word refresh. So I decided that would just be my title. I'd go ahead and use it. Being outside is always refreshing, and riding horses for me is always refreshing, so I feel like that goes. And then since I'm using that pop of rose gold, I figured I'd get the charm on this page as well, so it's going to go up there in the upper right hand portion. But I like how those are sitting, so I'm going to go ahead and glue them down. These puffy words, I did not have an issue with them the first time I used them. I don't know if it's because they've been in my stash for a little bit now, but all the stickiness was left on the plastic versus on the word, so I did have to go in with some Tombow Mono multi-liquid glue and glue down that word because it was not sticking. So I'm going to do that really quick. But I like how it's coming together. There are a lot of different patterns, even though they're kind of in the same color scheme. But I don't want to embellish too much just because I like this big scenic paper. There's a lot of pattern going around, so I'm going to try and keep the embellishment kind of simple. I am going to go ahead and I stabbed myself with my piercing tool just then. I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and thread this charm through the page and stitch it down just so it can have a little bit of movement but it stays secure. So that's all I'm working with now. I'm just using my embroidery floss, but I loved doing this the first time I had this collection and a bunch of these charms. I loved using, they're like my favorite embellishment to use on these pages. So I'm glad I got the last one used up, and it just says be kind. It's not really applicable to the photos, but I just love the movement and the color, so it's gonna go. And I also think it's nice that the circular shape kind of mimics the globe, so there's that repetition there. But I decided I would just tape it down to the back of one of these layers and secure it that way. I really didn't want it going all the way through the back layer because I didn't want that loose thread just hanging off the back of my page, but this way that loose thread is kind of glued down, tucked between layers. And then I had one of these kind of emerald green enamel dots left, so I decided I'd pop that up there with that little charm, just so it had a little friend, like a little mini cluster, because I wanted to get that last enamel dot used up. And then I'm going to my sticker sheet, and there's a really cute little green and rose gold heart embellishment. So again, I'm just using my scrap pieces of paper to get some dimension behind that, and that's going to be layered up with the globe, just so there's kind of a little cluster there. But that adds another pop of rose gold, another rose gold circular element. So again, I kind of have the circles continued, but I think that's a nice little finishing touch for the globe. And then I'm going back through my embellishment. I just wanted a couple more bits, so I added this banner layer here and this little precious stamp to the upper left hand corner just to spread that rose gold around and add a little bit more bling, just because it seemed kind of empty. And then I wanted kind of one more thing layered on top of that stamp. So I'm punching a bunch of hearts out of some scrap paper to glue behind a heart-shaped embellishment. Just another rose gold sticker from the sticker sheet, just to keep the dimension across the page. But that's going to go up by that stamp. And then that's pretty much going to be it. But I tried to keep it simple with the embellishment. I think there's enough to keep it interesting though. But I think this one and the last page I did of Marcus's first ride with him and Duke, I think they go really well together. So I can't wait to see them in the album side by side. But once I finally get that glued down, you'll see me layer it up on the stamp. And then I'm trying to remember if I do anything else, but I don't. I think the close-ups are coming up here in a second. Yep, there they are. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.